Welcome to my channel CS Subject Matter Expert. In this video I am going to discuss on graphs and charts in computer graphics. First let's see the definition of graph. A graph is a mathematical diagram that shows the relationship between two or more sets of numbers or measurements. Graphs mainly focus on raw data. A two-dimensional graph shows the relationship between the data through a line, curve, etc. Using the horizontal line at the bottom is called x-axis and the vertical line upside called y-axis. There are two types of graphs. 1. Bar graph. 2. Line graph. Bar graph is a graph that represents the categorical data using rectangular bars. The bar graph shows the comparison between discrete categories. The bar graph is used to compare the items between different groups over time. Bar graphs are used to measure the changes over a period of time. When the changes are larger, a bar graph is the best option to represent the data. There are two types of bar graphs. They are vertical bar graph and horizontal bar graph. The horizontal bar graph is the best choice while graphing the nominal variables. The vertical bar graph is the most commonly used bar chart, and it is best to use it while graphing the ordinal variables. Following are the many parts of a bar graph. Vertical axis. Horizontal axis. The bar graph's title, it informs the reader of its purpose. The title of the horizontal axis indicates the information that is shown there. The title of the vertical axis indicates the data it is used to display. The categories on the particular axis indicate what each bar represents. Bar graphs are used to match things between different groups or to trace changes over time. Yet, when trying to estimate change over time, bar graphs are most suitable when the changes are bigger. A line graph or line chart or line plot is a graph that utilizes points and lines to represent change over time. It is a chart that shows a line joining several points or a line that shows the relation between the points. The graph represents quantitative data between two changing variables with a line or curve that joins a series of successive data points. Types of the line graphs are simple line graph. It is only one line is plotted on the graph. Multiple line graph. More than one line is plotted on the same set of axes. A multiple line graph can effectively compare similar items over the same period of time. Compound line graph. If information can be subdivided into two or more types of data. This type of line graph is called a compound line graph. Lines are drawn to show the component part of a total. The top line shows the total and line below shows part of the total. The distance between every two lines shows the size of each part. Different parts of line graph are as follows. Title. The title explains what graph is to be plotted. Scale. The scale is the numbers that explain the units utilized on the linear graph. Labels. Both the side and the bottom of the linear graph have a label that indicates what kind of data is represented in the graph. X-axis describes the data points on the line and the y-axis shows the numeric value for each point on the line. Bars, they measure the data number. Data values, they are the actual numbers for each data point. The important use of line graph is to track the changes over the short and long period of time. It is also used to compare the changes over the same period of time for different groups. It is always better to use the line than the bar graph whenever the small changes exist. And the definition for chart can be, a chart is a type of representation of large set of data which makes the user understand. A chart can be a diagram, a picture or a graph. We can transform data variables into a visual, graphical or pictorial representation using charts. A few types of charts are vertical bar chart, horizontal bar chart, pie chart, line chart, area chart, etc. Bar chart. In a bar chart, values are indicated by the length of bars, each of which corresponds with a measured group. Bar charts can be oriented vertically or horizontally. Vertical bar charts are sometimes called column charts. Horizontal bar charts are a good option when you have a lot of bars to plot or the labels on them require additional space to be legible. Line chart show changes in value across continuous measurements, such as those made over time. Movement of the line up or down helps bring out positive and negative changes, respectively. It can also expose overall trends to help the reader make predictions or projections for future outcomes. Pie charts use an uncommon encoding, depicting values as areas sliced from a circular form. Since a pie chart typically lacks value markings around its perimeter, it is usually difficult to get a good idea of exact slice sizes. Area chart starts with the same foundation as a line chart, value points connected by line segments, but adds in a concept from the bar chart with shading between the line and a baseline. This chart is most often seen when combined with the concept of stacking to show both how a total has changed over time, but also how its components' contributions have changed. Let's see the differences between graph and chart. The meaning of a graph is a chart used to show the mathematical representation between varied data sets by plotting in x-axis and y-axis. And a chart represents information that can be in the form of a diagram, table or graph. All graphs are charts. It means that no matter which type of graph is used to display, it will always be a type of chart subset. But all charts are not graphs. It means there can be other types of charts that are not graphs. The usage of graphs find more when analyzing raw data and exact numbers. And charts used in business presentations and showing survey results. Examples for graphs are line graph and bar graph. And the examples for charts are vertical and horizontal bar charts, pie chart, area chart, etc. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share, subscribe and comment.